Germany is famously full of castles, some of them in ruins, and one of the biggest of these ruins is the little-known Homburg near the village of Gussenheim. A castle was first built here in 1018, but what you see now is mostly from the 13th century. 400 years later there was a fire, and after that the castle fell into ruin. About 2/3 of castles are, like this one, built on hilltops. As residences for the aristocracy, they were intended to be easy to defend against attack. This one certainly did its job. When the peasants' revolt arrived here in 1525, the castle survived unscathed. That's not to say that poorer people were left entirely defenceless. The nearby village of Aschfeld has a fine example of a fortress church. The church itself was surrounded by a fortified compound which served as a refuge for the villagers if they were ever attacked. And it apparently worked. We know it was used during the 30 Years' War in the 17th century, and there is no record that it was ever captured. When it was no longer needed as a fortress, locals used it as a food store. Originally, the only entrance was up some steep steps, so in the 1920s a new entrance was knocked through. Today, the rooms are used by the local history museum, but you need to book your visit as it has no regular opening times. Don't be fooled by the apparently plain exterior of the church. Inside, it is decorated in the highly ornamented Rococo style of the 18th century. It had already been decided to build a new altar, but the sculptor that had been hired disappeared. In 1750, a statue toppled over, causing a lot of damage. In May the following year, a new sculptor was found, and he managed to finish it in time for Christmas. Protection could also be given to entire towns, which could be granted permission to build fortifications. Karlstadt, on the opposite side of the river from a castle that didn't survive the peasants' revolt, built its fortifications in the 14th century. As well as keeping the citizens safe, it had a wider military application. The town was supposed to protect the area from the Counts of Rieneck. Karlstadt's historic centre is laid out in a rough grid, but for tactical reasons, the streets are not perfectly straight. Incidentally, St Andrew's Church is an example of Gothic architecture. As is normal for old churches, the interior has changed a lot through the centuries. Some murals from the 14th and 15th centuries clash with Renaissance decorations, and the turn of the millennium saw further changes. But the real secret is a series of statues which are thought to have come from the workshop of the legendary 16th century sculptor Tilman Riemenschneider. They're the ones behind glass, tucked away in a side chapel.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to send me a postcard, here's the address. And don't forget to visit my website and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Also, if you'd like access to special bonus content and help with the costs of running this channel, please consider making a small monthly donation on Patreon.
you.